Sim Simma, pot pan the fire water cooking for dinner. Stew fish right and a little soya. Dip on the fire, me say, it a simmer. Who give me that? Ah, the cooker.
And welcome to another Sim Simma. I'm your host, GiGi. Yes, GiGi is doing a cooking show. So unlike popular belief of some of the other KVTV presenters, producers, owners, I can actually cook. All right, so today on the menu, a la carte, is coconut dumplings, callaloo, and stewed chicken. So these are some of the ingredients that we got. We got everything at the grocery because we really didn't have time to go to the market, and I usually don't go to the market. Anyway, so here we have, well, for the dumplings, you're going to need the flour. We got a 2-pound flour, coconut. We're going to grate this coconut and put it in. And, well, you put salt and so forth in the mix there. For the salad, well, we got lettuce, we got cucumbers, we got some tomatoes, right? For the callaloo, we bought a callaloo pack that is already prepared, more or less. The bush is already chopped up. You get some okras, you get a piece of pumpkin, and we got an additional piece of pumpkin just to add to the pot. Then we have fresh seasoning that also goes into the callaloo. And, well, we got some onions that goes into the callaloo as well as into the chicken. Some all-purpose seasoning. Some garlic. Some pimentos. We got some lemons to clean the chicken with. And, well, this is our chicken. And, of course, it can't be a Trini meal if there's no pepper sauce. So we got some Jill's pepper sauce, which I find is really on point. This is what I usually use. So, yeah. So this is the ingredients as well, salt, and some sugar for the stewing and so forth. So let's get started. Sim Simma, GiGi doll.
We having fun still.
We give man a little chance.
You have pork, you can pass and get a little taste. Oh gosh, she's a boss. You hear the kind of prices. Best I take one more. Let me go and drink a beer and eat some giraffe pork.
The whole selfie craze that's taking place. You know, people taking selfies
I don't mind, personally. I mean, I do it.
Okay, yeah, because I have a selfie disorder. I'm borderline. Okay, so far what we have done, we've washed out the dasheen bush. You just basically put it under the sink and you let it rinse out for a few. We've also prepared stuff to go inside of the actual callaloo. So in here we have onions, we have garlic, we have okras, we have tomatoes, we have pimentos, we have chive, we have celery, we have pumpkin, lots of pumpkin. Also I prepared the ingredients for the chicken. Basically, again, it's fresh seasoning, chive, celery, pimentos, some garlic, and we also have some onions that I add in a little later on when you actually start the stew. The chicken has been washed out, it's been skinned. I left it to soak in some vinegar for a while, in some warm water, and then after that I threw out the water, I added some lemon juice, and I just kind of rinsed it out again, and now we're going to start preparing it for the actual seasoning.
Sim Simma.
So now what we're going to do is start actually preparing the callaloo. So as I said before, the callaloo bush was already chopped and so forth. We have the additional seasoning, the onions, garlic, pimentos, we got some tomatoes, we got chive, we got celery, we got pumpkin, all right? So I'm putting the stove on. And what I'm doing is I have a little bit of water in the actual pot. What we're going to do is add a little salt to that water. So in the beginning I don't really add too much salt, so this is probably like 1 tablespoon. You add it to the water and you stir. When the callaloo is actually in process, that's when I add additional salt and so forth to taste. But for now, since we're just going to make it like simmer down, I just add the salt in the beginning, so it would have a little taste to begin. So what I do now is take all of the callaloo, the dasheen bush, and I put it into the pot. Now to that, I'm going to add all of the seasoning and the other stuff that I prepared. I'm going to add a tad little bit of water again. And now I'm going to prepare some coconut milk to add to it. So I'm thinking maybe we should use the whole pack because we have a whole lot of bush. And you're pouring some hot water into it. I kind of like it kind of thick so it's more rich in that way. And you just stir it up basically until you get the clumps out. So that's basically it. So we leave this for a little bit and we cover down the callaloo in the meantime. So when that starts to simmer down, then I usually put in the coconut milk.
Pot on the fire, what are cooking for dinner?
So for the chicken, I put the pot on to hot in the meantime on some low heat, and I'm going to actually put in the ingredients to the chicken. So what we're going to add to this chicken is some salt, about 2 pinches, some black pepper. I just usually sprinkle until the required amount. I feel it depends on you. So now I'm going to put in all of the seasoning, the fresh seasoning into it. Put most of it, not all. And I actually add pepper sauce. This pepper seems hot. So we get a spoon and you add about half a tablespoon of pepper into the actual seasoning. You mix it in. You kind of just let everything get some of the seasoning. I kind of stick it so like some of the seasoning gets into it. So I'm just pouring everything into a bowl. Put it in the freezer for about 5 to 10 minutes. So it kind of takes the flavor of all the seasoning. And what I do is just pop it into the fridge for about 5 to 10 minutes.
Stew fish right and a little soya.
So I'm gonna bust the coconut open. I got a hammer. If this doesn't go well, then it doesn't go well. But I'm gonna try and bust the coconut open. So you got some water coming out. You just kind of collect that. Coconut. It's beginning to simmer down, and as you can see, everything is basically starting to boil up nicely. It's been on for around 10 minutes or so. There's a lot of water still, so I won't put in the coconut milk just yet. I'll wait till it dries down a little more before I actually add it. I'm sweating in this kitchen for KVTV. Yes, I'm sweating for KVTV. So usually persons will use oil and actually put into the pot and then put the sugar. I don't use the oil, I just use the sugar. Once the pot is hot enough, you shouldn't have a problem. Our callaloo seems like it wants to simmer over. See, it's bubbling up nicely. Alright, so I don't use any oil. So this is about half a pot spoon. You put it in and it will start to expand on its own. I'm going to add just a little bit more. So you can see the sugar will start to expand on its own. It does the same thing basically if you put the oil or you don't. So I do it without the oil. So just kind of stir it in. So you're just basically kind of stirring it in to get it melted. Now I know there are going to be some critics on this, but this is how I prepare stew chicken, and it tastes like stew chicken. So once it tastes like it, I'm thinking it's cool, you know. Alright, so it's getting a little thick, and you just kind of leave it there now because it's going to start to bubble up shortly. And I also like my stews a bit dark, so I usually let the sugar burn for a little longer period. But this is about good. You're starting to smell it. It's smelling a little burn, so I'm going to put the chicken in now. Basically what you're trying to do is get the brown all over the chicken. So it didn't actually come out as brown as I would have liked it to, but it's no problem. We just leave it for a few. So the remaining ingredients, you just kind of pour that in. And the chicken springs its own water. So I'm going to leave that and cover it down for a few.
Dip on the fire, me say it a simmer.
Okay, so we're back. The chicken has taken on a little more color since we last saw it. Still not as brown as I usually like it to be. See, it's still a little white. It's not cooked yet. I'm going to just leave it as simmer down because it's still springing its own water, so there's still water in the pot. I'm going to add the onions in the meantime. And just leave that let simmer. Okay, so for callaloo, the pumpkin is the only thing. Well, the pumpkin still has to cook a bit. And the bush still seems like it needs to cook a little, but it's coming to come. What I'm going to do now is add the coconut milk. So you just add it in and you stir. So you just stir it in and you're done. I'm going to put in the pepper one time. So this is a hot pepper, but it looks like a pimento, but it's actually a hot pepper. So you're going to just put that in the pot. We're going to cover it down again. And we're going to leave it, let it simmer some more. So this coconut is actually for dumplings. So you just grate the entire coconut. And when you're done, this mixture will be going into the flour as well for the dumplings. In terms of measurements, I don't really go by measurements, I just go by what looks right. But this flour is usually very lumpy. So what I do is I kind of sift it with a regular strainer because I don't have a sifter to kind of get rid of the lumps. So you can use a spoon to assist. I just really hate lumps in the flour. Some people might just pour it out of the bag and say, you know what, it's dumplings anyway. So now I'm going to be adding our coconut to the mixture. Kind of make sure you don't get too big kind of pieces in there. And you just add it. I don't think I'm going to add all because sometimes when you add too much, it tends to make the dumplings a little less firm. I'm going to mix it in. I'm going to add some salt to this. That's about 1 teaspoon. And I also add some sugar. I have a spoon in here. I'm just going to put in one of these into the mixture. What I'm going to do now is add some water. Kind of add it in the middle. And you just kind of turn it in. So basically what you're doing is combining everything together now. And as you can see, it's very soft now. So what I have to do is add more flour. I'm going to mix in the additional flour to the mixture. This is when it gets interesting because now you have to actually put your hands into the mixture. And you get in. So when you get in, you will know like the consistency, like if it's still too soft. If it's still too soft, then you add a little more flour. So I added more flour and now it's a little stiffer, which is a little better because you don't want the dumplings to be too soft. The coconut already kind of gives it a softer texture. So you knead it in, you knead it in, you knead it in. So it's dumpling action time. So we had the dough previously. We still have some dough in here. We left it for a while, about 10 minutes roughly covered. And now I'm back and I'm just basically pressing out the dough into some round shapes, basically dumplings. You know, some people do it differently. I know people who cut them up into squares or triangles, but it's really your preference. But for me, I think this is the easiest thing that you can do. Just press it out with your fingers and basically get it into a circle. And it's cool.
Who give me that? The cooker.
The dumplings are already made and pressed out. I'm going to just put this over here. And what I'm going to do is add some oil, regular cooking oil, whichever you use. You just add, that's about 2 drops or 3 into the water, what it does, basically, it helps the flour not to stick together, the dumplings not to stick together when you actually start cooking. Now for the chicken, it's actually kind of burned down. So what I'm going to do now is add a little water to this, add the rest of the seasoning. Since it was like cooking down, you would have gotten it kind of thick to the bottom, so that's what I use more or less as the sauce, or the base of the sauce. Some may say it's not an actual stew, but what I said, it works to me, so whatever works for you. I usually put in like about half spoon or a pot spoon of ketchup, and I put in some more pepper sauce. Just put in a tad bit. You don't want it to be extremely hot, but you want it to have a little sting. Kind of just stir it in, leave it down, add the rest of the water. And what I'm going to do now is kind of just taste it to see if it needs any more salt or anything like that. There's a lot of pepper in this shit. Since the sugar was burnt a little brown, a little dark, it's a tad bit bitter. So what I'm going to do is just add like a teaspoon of sugar to it. And I'm going to add a little bit of all-purpose seasoning, and that's going to be it for the chicken. So I'm just going to sprinkle a tad bit of the all-purpose seasoning into it. 1 spoon of the sugar. The ketchup will kind of kill the bitterness as well. Because as you can see, the chicken actually came out a bit darker than I thought it would. At first I thought it would have been kind of light brown, but it's taking on a nice color. And yeah, you're just going to leave that now for like 5 minutes. Let the seasoning and stuff just go into it, and then that's it with the chicken. So as you can see, the pumpkin and everything is more or less cooked. It's more or less cooked. You see it's breaking up. But we still give it a little 5 minutes or so because it's cooked, but it still seems a little thick. Okay, so it needs a tad bit, a little more salt. I'm gonna add some all-purpose to it as well. So the chicken is done. Now, my stew chicken does not look like stew chicken. It looks like baked stew chicken. So I guess that's better for you anyways. And well, the water is starting boiling, so we're gonna put the dumplings in. And the callaloo, it's done, so I'm just leaving it like cool a little bit, and then after, I don't actually swizzle it, I put it into my magic bullet and just kind of pulse it for about 2 until it's basically to the consistency that I like. So basically what you're going to do is, once the water is boiling, you're just going to put in the dumplings. So you realize that it goes to the bottom. Usually when it cooks, it floats up to the top. So that's when you basically know that the dumplings is more or less cooked. Okay, so our dumplings are finished. As you can see, so they boiled. Once I said, once they rise to the top, then you know they're cooked. Some of you may want to leave it for a little while longer. It depends on what you really like. And well, basically just strained it and I left it here to cool. Now I'm going to actually pulse my callaloo. I don't usually use a swizzle stick. I'm not good with it. I've tried before and it's really not worked out. So what I've started doing is actually putting my callaloo into, well, a blender. If you have a magic bullet, you can put it into it. What you want to do is just kind of pack it in. Now the pepper is still in here. It didn't burst. I didn't wait for it to burst. So when it blends up, basically, the pepper flavor will be in there. You don't really fill it up to the top. Put it onto your bullet and you pulse. And for me, this is thick enough. That's your callaloo. I'm going to just rinse out the pot and transfer it back to the pot so you can serve it from there.
Gigi's asked me to taste some of her food. got some dumplings. We've got some callaloo and some chicken with a bit of garnish here on top. Garnish looks nice. Got some salad as well with some green rabbit food below it. I don't really like lettuce. I'm not a big lettuce fan. I told her this, but she insisted on throwing in the lettuce there. So I'm going to have a little taste of this. There was meant to be another taster, but I couldn't make it. Had a bit of emergency. So let's see how this goes. What is the emergency number? 911. Just in case anything happened, you know. Just have that phone ready, you know. But GiGi assures me she can cook. So we shall see now. Here's the taste test. 911. Okay, it's going in. The dumplings. Get that coconut consistency there. And callaloo. First time I've actually seen callaloo being made is from this show. Let me try the callaloo on its own. Yeah. Wow. Bit peppery. Bit peppery, but nice. The stewed chicken, what I liked about the stewed chicken was no oil was used. Which to me is kind of cool because I do like anything healthy. Stewed chicken is boss. Lovely. Well done, GiGi. No need to call it like that. Oh.
So this has been another Sim Simma. Kelly Village had the keys to my kitchen. Yes, they invaded my space today and I cooked for them. So this is the result. I'm now going to have my meal. I've already gotten into the dumplings, the callaloo, and some of the chicken that's stewed but looks baked. Yeah, so this has been another KVTV production. I'm your host, GiGi. Stay blessed and look out for another Sim Simma coming up soon. See ya.
Sim Simma, pot pan the fire water cooking for dinner. Stew fish right and a little soya. Dip on the fire, me say, it's a simmer. Who give me that? Ah, the cooker.